Hello guys, welcome to another video. So, this video, I'm going to be going over some of the funniest Reddit stories I've gathered over the past few months on Reddit. Now, if you get offended by certain words and configurations of words, then click off this video right now, because there's going to be a lot of offensive language for you to enjoy. But, I don't have any of the usernames. I probably should have, but, So, I named the file my favorite Reddit stories. So you can see. So, this first one. When I was 4, my cat fell into the hot tub. It wasn't heated at the time, more like cool water. I knew that cats really didn't like to be wet, and I wasn't allowed to plug in the hairdryer. So I tried to put the cat in the microwave to dry it off, thinking that it heats things up with hot air like the blow dryer. She wouldn't go in and panicked so bad she gave birth. I didn't even know she was pregnant, but that's how my cat Fluffy was born, and she stayed with me for 16 years. Edit. And now one of my top posts of all time is about attempting to microwave a cat. Okay, this next one. I used to call my grandma Grams, which I then changed to grams of fat after hearing that phrase on TV. I never saw how that could be offensive until a few years later. Oh, that one's hilarious. And normally I'd be just laughing right now, just totally just laughing, like exploding in laughter. But I've read these already lots of times. I always come back to this file. But I found myself suddenly face to face with a large bear in the mountains near a corner trail along the river. The bear ran off like a pussy and shot all over the place before I had a chance to do the same. I was driving to work alone and this deer ran out, slipped on the wet pavement, and like it did a circular slide on its ass, crossed the road, stopped, looked me dead in the eyes, and I swear gave me a look like, oh shit, that was embarrassing, I'm out, peace, and took off. It was hilarious. I'd like french fries, extra French. In my Spanish class, the teacher used popsicle sticks for this purpose. When she wasn't looking, we replaced all of our popsicle sticks with one we had labeled, all with one poor kid's name on it. 10 out of 10 would do again. In an intro bio lab quiz, I asked my students to define bilateral symmetry. One student simply drew an arrow and wrote C reverse. On the back of the quiz was an extremely ornate and intricate drawing of Chewbacca. 10 out of 10 quality. Running down the middle of Chewbacca was the dotted line. Full points. Newsflash, family killed when flaming Furby thrown out of passing car burns down house. I wish I got skills for not pissing my pants. All I get is stupid, unsoiled pants. In elementary school, we were all assigned a country to do a little speech about. I was assigned Thailand. One of the most beautiful places in the country is, of course, Phuket Island, with a handful of pictures from the island I cut out from a book. I spent at least 90% of this presentation talking about Phuket. Yet I was traumatized when a minute into my speech, my classmates started laughing, and they laughed, and they laughed. My teacher was red in the face with embarrassing, so I just kept trucking through. It wasn't until about the end that I realized I had been pronouncing Phuket as fuck it the entire time as I was reading my notes. This is the island of fuck it. Fuck it has many beautiful beaches. I would love to go to fuck it. I booked it from that room in trauma. A girl was yelling at one of my friends about how she was crazy for some reason. I pushed her so hard, she broke and fell in the glass trophy case. I got suspended for calling my teacher Squidward, and when he got annoyed, I started doing the SpongeBob laugh. My pregnant teacher gave birth to a duck, which we kept as a class pet until she roasted it for a Christmas party in class. I vividly remember walking in to her crying while biting into a tiny roasted turkey thing, and when we asked what was wrong, she wailed, "I'm eating my baby, but he's so good." Then the class got to share the tiny leftovers while she mourned it. It was actually a pretty good duck. 10 out of 10 would recommend eating teacher babies at Christmas. This was, by the way, in a thread of what's the weirdest dream you ever had, so this didn't actually happen. If your keyboard is not working, do not attempt to smash your keyboard with the hammer to fix it. A survey. Excuse me, what do you think about the meat shortage? A Russian. What is meat? A Texan. What is the shortage? New Yorker. What is excuse me? Once in class, a girl was being pretty shitty to me and pissing me off when I suddenly heard the teacher mention a trip we were going on which a bus was going to pick us up. I wanted to ask, hey miss, what time's the bus leaving? But having thinking bad thoughts about this girl and falling into a friend-to-win slip, I just blurted out, hey bitch, what time's the bus leaving? The best part was I didn't even notice it, that I had done it, and just sat there completely looking at this frumpy middle-aged woman in the eye waiting for an answer. I was in the auditorium. The science teacher's husband was in there, and he was some sort of zoologist. Love whales for some reason. Showed us a bunch of different varieties, blue, humpback, etc., telling us all about them and their habits. I knew a few different whales myself. He puts up a picture of a sperm whale and asks who knows what type of whale this is. My hand springs up before he even calls on me. I shout, sperm! Everyone stared at me and someone chuckled. He says, yes, you're right. I was way too eager. So this next one. Some people just like to eat their boogers, and we have to deal with it. I'm fairly sure there was a study that showed it was good for you to boost your immune system. It also prevents tiger attacks. Source, me. I've never seen a tiger in my neighborhood. You're welcome, neighbors. My god, you're right, neither have I. That's multiple comments, by the way. Of course. That would make sense. During the lunch break, this guy who was eating a sandwich was on the verge of sneezing, so he finally sneezed it, and I see the piece of sandwich flying, I'm not kidding, into the mouth of my classmate who was busy laughing. His confused expression was priceless. This reminds me of a game people in my class would play. When the teacher would leave, these two kids would stand up on their desks and say in a game show way, "It's time for another exciting round of Who's Corey's Friend?" Then encourage anyone who was Corey's friend to raise their hand. Nobody ever did. Kids are cruel. For some reason, I read that in Kevin's voice. That. In case you didn't understand, Kevin from The Office. I followed a cop car in GTA LO and watched as they went on a high-speed chase of a taxi. They rammed the taxi on the exit ramp of the highway, and as they went straight into the wall, the taxi caught fire. Aflame but undeterred, the taxi continued to attempt to outrun the police, only to explode in the middle of the intersection. 3 other cars exploded, with several innocents catching fire and burning to death slowly. The police get out of the car, guns drawn, and proceed to shoot the body of the taxi driver several times. After proclaiming suspect down, the police then tried to turn around and get back in the car, only to step on fire themselves, ignite, and burn to death. Added bonus, one dropped his shotgun and it went off. Casualties, 6 civilians, 4 vehicles, 2 police officers, all over a speeding taxi. My brother and I still throw imaginary poops into each other's mouths when he's roasting on. We're both in our 20s. Until you see that overly shaped hole in the wall. That was a reply to something. I can't remember what it was. I used to work in electronics at Walmart. One day we had a 5-year-old demand his mom buy him a Wii, and she told him no. The kid then proceeds to scream loudly at her and take off running and screaming down the main aisle. The mom apologizes and walks off to find her kid. I think nothing of it and continue on my day. Found out later from an associate in toys. The kid had come running into the action figure aisle, stopped, and started to pull his pants down. The kid proceeded to crab walk quickly down the aisle, painting the second aisle with a steady stream of urine, all while still screaming. The mom caught up to the kid after that, and all the toys the associate got was a quick sorry before the lady took her kid and left. I felt sorry for the associate, but honestly I was just glad he left my department before he decided to do that. I put 2 Skittles up each nose, and when I realized I couldn't get them out, same reason as you, this is a reply, I started to cry. Of course, while I cried, my nose started to drip in rainbow Skittle colors. My mom tried not to laugh while she pulled the Skittles out of me. Shot all over the house, backyard, and inside the house, and blamed it on the dog. It was a vengeance because the dog ate my kid. There was one student we called Tommy. Tommy was very sweet, but he was refused to try short and lol, my grandpa taught me a bunch of goofy shit about animals. What does the giraffe say? Welcome to Toys R Us. What does the camel say? Have a smoke. When he asked me what a ghost has, I just spit on the floor. That was my favorite. Mentally handicapped kid began being gang harassed by 20 plus boys in the bathroom. They wouldn't let him leave, so he locked himself in his store and screamed and cried and started banging his head on the wall. He came out with a hands full of his own shit and proceeded to throw his turds at anyone in the way. The jerk store called, "They're running out of you." Also, the phone just rang, guys. Just a second. Also, I opened a LEGO Star Wars advent calendar in the shop using the bottom opening, not the normal ones. Take the minifigure out that was in the 24th slot. I only realized a few hours after that it would mean a kid would be utterly sad on the 24th of December. This was also, he said also because, there was a previous comment above him, but it wasn't really that funny. This one, background info. When I was around 5 years old, I had a rat named Bob, and he lived in one of those little glass aquarium cases. Slash cages. There is only one bathroom that I could use back then. The other is attached to my parents' room. I also had no concept of how much small animals peed. One day, my parents were having a party, and they said they weren't going to force me to mingle with their friends. During the party, I was hiding in my room, and I realized I really had to pee, but I didn't want to make it known that I was home by going to the bathroom. I ended up holding my pee for far too long and finally made a run for it, but there was someone else in there. Whoever was in the bathroom must have been having some problems because they were there for a really long time. Meanwhile, my bladder was about to burst, so I ran back to my room frantic, saw the glass aquarium, and let loose. Bob immediately sought shelter on top of his little house with an aquarium filled with over an inch of pee. After I peed in his cage, I panicked, but then realized I had a perfect scapegoat, the rat. I gathered up my courage, ran upstairs, and told my mom Bob had an accident in his cage. She was confused, but came down my room along with a bunch of her friends. As soon as everyone walked in and saw Bob swimming around in an inch of pee, I confidently said, I think Bob peed. Everyone was able to come to the conclusion that I was the one who peed in the aquarium and burst out laughing. I was absolutely mortified at the time. I peed in a erotic way. Yeah, okay, that's you know, So guys, that's everything that I have in here. Because this gets filled up really fast. There's a lot of hilarious stuff on Reddit. It's just reddit.com. This has how you spell it, and then just .com. If you want to go there, it's perfectly safe. It's an awesome site, and you can read stories. A lot of times I go on to Ask Reddit, where people can ask questions to Reddit, and that's where I got most of these. I think I got maybe all of these. I don't know. But yeah, guys, this is so hilarious. But yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Remember to like the video if you liked it, sub for most, so you don't miss any future videos. And by the way, you think I forgot the Christmas-related question? I didn't! Ha! Christmas-related question is, guys, what would be the video game you would most want for Christmas this year? Because I asked what's your favorite video game you've gotten before, but this is what you want to get most this year with a video game. For me, Pokemon Sun, I've already got it, but, you know. But yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Remember to like the video if you liked it, so for most, I miss any future videos on my channel. Remember to follow me on Twitter or Instagram, link in the description. And with that being said, guys, goodbye.